What happens when humanity unites with a single purpose, speaking one language, driven by one desire, to reach the heavens with their own hands? What is the limit of human pride when it rises against the Creator? This is the story of the day mankind tried to touch the sky. And God answered. There was a time when the whole earth spoke the same language and used the same words. There were no barriers, no borders, no confusion. People were united, and in that unity, they decided something grand, to build a city, and at its center, a tower. But not just any tower. It was a work meant to reach the heavens, a structure so tall, so imposing, it would tease humanity's name into eternity. Let us make a name for ourselves, they said. It was a project of glory, not God's glory, but man's. Brick by brick, the tower rose. There were no limits. The workers moved as one body, one mind. The city took shape. The tower stood like a cry of arrogance before the sky. It was not just stone and mortar. It was pride, ambition, defiance. It was the symbol of a generation that wanted to be remembered, not for its humility, but for its boldness in touching the sacred. But from above, heaven watched. God saw the work, not just the physical structure, but what was growing inside the human heart. He said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language." This is only the beginning. Nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. And then, judgment came. Not in thunder or earthquakes, not with fire, nor destruction, but with something even more powerful. Confusion. In an instant, understanding was lost. Where once there was perfect communication, strange voices emerged, languages no one understood. Chaos spread. Workers shouted, but could no longer understand each other. The hammer that was asked for met silence. The building plan became ruins of words. The work stopped. Unity collapsed, and the dream of reaching heaven crumbled. Those who once labored side by side were now divided. They grouped by language. They looked at each other with suspicion, and they left. The tower was abandoned. The city, forsaken. They've scattered across the earth, each group following its own path, each people with its own new language. Thus, the diversity of nations was born. Thus, pride gave way to silence. The place was called Babel, because their God confused the language of the whole earth. There began the dispersion. There ended mankind's attempt to take the place of God. But also there began a new story. The story of peoples, languages, and cultures. Different, yes, but called to rediscover a greater purpose. The Tower of Babel is not just an ancient tale. It is an eternal reminder that unity without humility leads to downfall, that pride without reverence draws us away from the Creator, and that every attempt at greatness without God is destined